dream, somewhere you wanna go or someone to be. What of those desires? What hunger to sate? How high the fire? Are you gonna make yourself unhappy? Are you gonna let it run you around? Have a little faith, we can pull it together. You're far too good for keeping down. I know your problem. It's clear to see, though I find I'm useless. What happened to do? If it just wasn't worth the effort, are you gonna make yourself unhappy? Are you gonna let it run you around? Let me hold on, let you run, even though you don't want me around. But sure there must be something, anything I can do. Sometimes I get to think I just made it worse for you. Tell me your dream, somewhere you wanna go or someone to be. What are those desires? What hunger to say? How high the fire? Are you gonna make yourself unhappy? Are you gonna let it run you around? Have a little faith, we can put it together. You're far too good for keeping down. You're far too good for keeping down. You're far too good for keeping down. Please remind me of the view from the house down in the woods. I could run out back, climb trees for hours straight. But the neighbors took me in, asked me all about my dreams, watching me pretend to be an astronaut. We're so easily divided, have our future so decided. Can we have it any other way? We got locked out of our hearts, trapped our thoughts and played our parts as we've been running up and down these walls. Oh, the clocks are telling me all the things I should have been. What to make this short-lived stay if I just want to leave? I got pulled to way up north, my mind moving back and forth. I guess I'll take you with me where I go. Little steps make little waves, oh how I sometimes feel ashamed of all the secrets that we chose to keep. try and speak straight from the heart, carry beams throughout the dark. Never
Hello. Hi there. Hello. How are you guys? Thank you for being here. Welcome again to these live sessions. Um, how are you? Who are you? See if you can give me a comment over there so that I can know who I've got over there. Just gonna turn the music up a little bit down. Very good. So we've got a Pilates class tonight. And I don't know if you've been here before. Is it your first lesson? Have you done Pilates before? We have been doing a couple, well, we did quite a lot of sessions last week, and we did a mixture of a beginner, intermediate level, also bearing in mind who was coming. So, see if you can say hi over there in the comments section so that I can know who's around. And I'm just going to give a couple more minutes of courtesy, see if someone else joins. Let me see. I'm just going to bring this a bit closer so that if you say something through there, I can actually see you. If there are any issues with the sound or anything, also let me know because I've just changed the sound system. So perfect. Good. And don't worry if you cannot give me a comment because I know some people don't have an account. So you're still welcome. And I'm very happy that you're here. Yeah, if you don't know me, I'm Alba and I'm doing these free live sessions. There's a Pilates class, and then after this class at 6:45 UK time, 7:45 Spanish time, we've got a stretching relaxation session. So this will last approximately, this mat class will last 45 minutes, and then we'll get on to the stretching one, which is like approximately 25 minutes. So yeah, hope you can stay for both. Hello, we've got someone else there. So if you can tell me where you're watching me from. I'm just very intrigued to see what kind of audience we've got over here. Very good. Good. And just in terms of material, like I always say, I'm not gonna use match because I don't know what people have. But if you've got something you can sit on for any session, we might not use it today, but just something you can slowly you can sit on so that you're a little bit higher. And it can either be cushion, it can be a block, it can be anything really. Just get creative around it. And then yeah, I was asking the other day if anyone had a tennis ball or something similar. Now if you actually have got one and you want me to do a session, hello. Hi Guillaume. Hi. So Guillaume is watching us from Madrid. Thank you for coming. Welcome. That's so exciting. We've got new people. Great. Nice. So we're gonna start standing up, guys. And we're just going to try to find a wall. So in this case, I'm going to use this wall and I'm going to mark it standing up there, but you're going to do it against the wall. So imagine my spine is against the wall and my feet are slightly more forward. So I'd be leaning like that, feet slightly forward and bending my knees. And we're just going to start with a little bit of a roll down. So I'm just going to make those feet nice and broad and make them spread and softening those knees. All I'm going to do is I'm going to start to soften my chest and start to let my head drop. Imagine I'm really making my skull super heavy as I keep articulating my spine all the way down to the floor. Let your neck go, let the back of the neck really lengthen. And from there, guys, I'm pressing on my feet like crazy, like really allowing the weight to go to my feet to crash my sacrum down and go all the way up and again. Inhale, and as you exhale, allow your heart to drop. And you're going to start to imagine the back of your ribs. So if you put your hands on your side ribs, you'll feel it. And those ribs are going to float up to the sky. In this case, like you want to slide the back ribs up the wall to get longer before you get off the wall. And you're going to start to slowly roll down. Very good. Now, the minute you get to the point where you cannot go farther with your back, you're going to start to imagine you're sliding the sit bones up that wall that you've got in the back. And very good. So, really stretching those hamstrings. And then we're going to send those sit bones down the wall. Stay nice and heavy on my feet. And crashing my sacrum down to my feet to go all the way up. Now, once more, Inhaling, exhaling, floating the ribs. For the girls, I can think of the brass strap floating up the wall, lifting so that I can slide it. And for the guys, just think of the back ribs. Very good. Good if that strap image is not so accurate. And then you're going to start just saying your sacrum down again. So I'm starting to really connect with the back of my hips. Wonderful. Great. And from there, all I'm going to do is I'm going to squeeze my shoulders nice and up, super, super squeeze them until they're, yeah, even head. That's it, really letting the tension. Yeah, there you go. Get there. And you're just going to release. We're going to do two more. So you squeeze all that area around the traps. It's very, very stiff. And let them go. Last one. Inhale. Okay, wonderful. And we're going to start on the floor. I'm just going to bring this a little bit lower so you can see me properly. Great. And we're just going to start lying down. So, for those of you who have done a session already, I'm just going to go more or less through the same exercises we did a little bit with some modifications so we can start to get used to them. And we're going to have the palms on the floor, and you're going to think of the elbows getting light. So first of all, if we bring your arm, if you actually make your arms very straight, what's going to happen naturally is you might just lock them, you lock those elbows, and let that chest pull too much out. You see that? So we don't want that. We want the chest to be able to drop down so that we've got some space. That's it. Your belly super heavy. So there's like a four elephants, I tend to say. You've got loads of elephants on top of your front. That's it. And you keep them nice and heavy to the point where when I take my leg down, I'm still keeping them nice and heavy. Good. So use the leg that's down, really engaging with it so you can stabilize those hips. Alternating legs. Last one. Great. We're going to keep one leg up. Now inhaling there. And as you exhale, letting that chest melt, pressing on the palms to pick up the other foot. Good. And from there, we're going to have the feet in a little bit of a claw. So a little bit bird on a perch, which is what we call it. We're going to take one leg a little bit forward, inhaling and pressing on the palms to bring it in. Now, the most important thing here is that I try to think of the chest and the pubic bone getting clipped in the middle, and all that space in here, you can even touch it. So you put your hands underneath your chest, just in that space in the middle. And I want you to imagine as you exhale, you're letting all that space melt down, as if it's getting super heavy and super soft. So there's no gripping in the belly. Good. And now, as we take the leg forward, we keep that softness. We exhale and we let the belly and the chest drop. Beautiful. Inhale. Nice. So it's not about how far I go with my leg, it's more about that softness in my front in this case. Good. Exhale. Wonderful. Now, if you feel like your neck is pulling a bit, you can also put something in the back of your head. So you would do this with any cushion you've got around. That can probably give you a little bit of a hand. So feel free to use those props to help you. Last one. Inhale. Good. Knees in. Now squeezing the heels together, guys, and we're going to start to imagine we stretch the calves up to the ceiling and bend those knees in again. Great. Now my hands are in the back of my knees, and I'm going to pull my elbows apart. And as I do so, I imagine the space in between my two shoulders. Again, it's getting super heavy and wide. And I'm trying not to push my knee. So look at me for a second. You can either do this. You see how it just happens from the joint, from the knee. Now, what I want you to do is to use your muscles to do it. So you're going to try to Feel that the back of the knees are very light and you're not pushing on them to lift the heels up. And again, and you don't have to go all the way. You're just letting the belly drop as if there was a string between your heel and your belly. And when the heels lift, the belly drops. Beautiful, very good. Allow those shoulders and chest to melt. Two more. Great. Wonderful. And we're going to stay there. And now bend the knees again and see if you can really hold on to the back of the knees, pulling your elbows apart, sending them in opposite directions to the sides of your body. And from there, not letting the shoulders be pulled out of the sockets, but allowing the arm bone to be in the socket. We're going to start to melt the heart, inhaling. Start to send air in the middle of my blades and start to float the upper back, inhaling, melting the belly as we exhale. And again, inhaling, heavy belly. Allow the waist to narrow with your exhale. Inhale. Good. Keep squeezing the heels together. Very good. Two more. Inhale. Heavy chest. Now, last one. Great. And as we were talking about the other day, for the neck not to get tight, we need to make this whole system one, right? So instead of just deciding I'm going with the head, I'm thinking my heart is bending. So my chest is really bending down. And I'm really using the back of my legs. So if you see me, I'm actually pressing against my hands a little bit with the back of my thighs. And from there, I go again. So heavy heart, send air into your upper back. Exhale, melt the belly as if those four elephants on your belly couldn't be pushed out. So you need to keep them flat. Inhale, keep the belly heavy. Wonderful. Inhale into your upper back. It's like a hammock that has two ends that are very light and one middle that's super, super heavy. Last one. Great. Inhale. And down. Wonderful. Let's bring the knees in, squeeze them with your hands, and you're going to give them a little bit of circle. Very good. Just mobilizing the hips. Wonderful. Okay. And the other way around. Wonderful. Cool. And from there, we're just going to do a little bit of stomach series, but we're going to start with the legs up. Now, if this is too heavy, don't feel afraid to have them like this. It doesn't matter at all. If you prefer them straight, you can have them straight. Otherwise, you can keep them a little bit bent. Now, always think that your knees are slightly pulled towards your chest, though you're not in 90 degrees because it's going to pull in your back a little bit. So you're slightly in. Very good. And now, hands are in the back of your head. I can see we've got some more people there. So if you want, you can give me a comment there so that I know who's watching and from where from. And then we're going to start to really allow the head to get heavy towards my hands. So I'm in a beach bed in Las Bahamas. I'm squeezing my heels like crazy. For real, squeeze them. Like if you want to, crush something in the middle of them. And then start to imagine the elbows are picking you up. So it's not my head is down. And I'm inhaling in the middle of my plates. And I'm dropping my heart to stretch the waist longer. And again, inhale. Exhale. Very good. Creating space in my groins. Inhale. Heavy belly and narrow waist. Two more. Inhale. Last one. Float the elbows, triceps up to the ceiling. Good. And always think, because I can sort of imagine what can happen. So imagine instead of going up, we're gonna try to stretch the spine. So we're not trying to pull the neck up again. So we're just gonna try to imagine we're going far. So my elbows will fly in that direction instead of just up. Because that will distract us from stretching the spine, which is what we want. And let's go for once more. So if you do it with the legs up, it's totally fine. If you do it, actually, I would recommend knees bent for this one, to be honest. And heavy chest. Good. Inhale in the space in between your blades. Heavy belly. Good. Keep floating. Inhale. Wonderful. Keep your head on your hands. Inhale. Doesn't matter how high you go. There you go. Exhale. Last one. Okay. And let's just cross one leg on top of the other one. Like that. There's one foot on the ground. And my hands are in a big cross. And I'm just going to let that twists happen. And I'm gonna breathe into that stretch, looking towards my right arm and imagining my ribs are wrapping around my lungs a little bit. So I'm really allowing the breath to wrap me on my exhale. Wonderful. And from there, I'm going to change my side. So I go back, swap, allow the weight of the legs to take me to the right. And I'm looking the opposite side. Again, allowing that diagonal in the ribs to melt. Beautiful. Great. And letting those hands and shoulders be heavy towards the mat. Okay. Wonderful. Now we are going to have the legs up actually this time. And my hands are going to be behind my head, exactly in the same place. Now, I would say exactly the same thing. If this is too heavy, I would recommend having them a little bit bent, but doing exactly the same movement we're going to do. So if you want to do it with them long, I would also recommend grab something you can put on your head so that your neck doesn't suffer, and we've got a bit more space. Great. And from there, we're going to start to do exactly the same thing. So squeezing the heels, sending air in the middle of my blades, heavy belly, inhaling. Now I'm going to keep that heaviness and that chest melting and bending. And I'm going to take my legs slightly forward. As I exhale, I pull them back in. Now my belly is super heavy. If I put my hand on it, it wouldn't pop out as I go out. So it stays there. So I go really tiny with it. It's really tiny movement. Inhale, trying to keep that heaviness and make it even heavier when I come in. Great. And again, so you keep the pubic bone towards your nose when you inhale. You exhale, make it even heavier. Beautiful, guys. Allow the breath to get to places it doesn't normally get to. Heavy belly, last one. Okay, great. And rest. Wonderful. Let's just cross one leg on top of the other one and pull it in. Very good. So we're going to cross and we're going to relax the bum in that position, stretching the glute, and we change the leg. Very good. Okay, wonderful. So from there, let's just go to do a little bit of, we're going to get a chair. Have you guys got a chair around? I hope you have one. I'm sure you can find one. Let me show you what I've got, because you might find it a good example. So this is the chair I've got. Tell me if you've got something similar. If you don't, it doesn't have to be a chair. It can either be a stool, anything you can sit on. It doesn't have to be just particularly this kind of chair. And I would assume if you don't say anything, it means you have found one. I'm just going to give you 1 minute to find one. Very good. Perfect. Good, because we're going to start articulating the spine there. Now, the chair is really useful to dissociate and start to think about just the base of what a spine, the pelvis moving is what's doing right. So I want you to just dissociate the movement so that we know what's going on in the body when we just move the pelvis around. Good. So one hand is going to be on my belly and my other hand is going to be my lower back. My feet are nice and pressed against the mat. Now, all I want you to do is you're going to press on your feet to tilt your pelvis a little bit towards so you're twisting your pubic bone towards your belly a little bit and you come back. Now it's a really simple movement. So I want your feet to create that tilt. So you're pressing slightly on the feet to send your pubic bone towards your nose, then you're pulling the heels towards the bum to come back. Now it's really easy for us to either spill in the front as I'm doing here and like really let this drop, or actually shove in the back and just collapse. And we don't want either of those. So we want that both hands to make like a real sandwich here. And I'm gonna find that softness in my belly, so that when I press on my feet, I can open those hip creases, imagining I'm creating space in these thighs here, reaching the thighs away from me. And my belly stays nice and soft when I come back. And again, pubic bone towards your nose to tilt your pelvis, use your feet and pull the heels towards your bum to come back. Now, super simple. I just want you to do it with the minimum effort so that we can make sure we're not gripping anywhere and we're not creating tensions where we don't need them, because it's quite a simple movement and it's very easy to grip it. Last one. Great. And from there, I'm going to have my hands in my thighs and I'm going to reach them forward as I send my pubic bone towards my nose. So I'm going to really curl there. Wonderful. And then I'm going to pull my elbows to my waist, press on my hands, and say my heart and nipples up, stretching the collarbone and lifting. Good. And back again. So I'm reaching my hands forward as I send my pubic bone towards my nose. Very good. And then I pull my elbows to my waist, press on the palms, and stretch the collarbone up a little bit more. Good. Two more. Hands reach forward. Pubic bone looks towards my nose. And then pulling the elbows in to stretch the shape. Wonderful. Great. And from there, we're going to stand up and we're going to have just one foot on top of the chair. Now, it's going to be just on the balls of the foot, but I don't want it to be too high or too low. So just play around with it. You're going to start with the heel very low and you're going to make sure this leg is not fully rotated. So just more or less parallel. It can be in a really slight rotation outwards, which is what we call Pilates V. So from there, this heel is nice and low and pressing on the ball of the foot. I'm going to start to pick up that heel and I'm going to pick it up all the way up. And then I'm going to go all the way down. And again, so I'm going to just start to go articulate through that movement. And I want you guys to start to notice which is the point where I feel like there is a maximum engagement in this bit here underneath my hip. You can even touch it if you don't know how it feels. And I just want you to stay in that bit where you can press against the chair. You can feel that strength going on there and still not dropped, right? So you're in that nice medium. And from there, hands are on my hips and I'm bending the base leg as I keep reaching my left side sit bone down. In this case, the top leg's sit bone down. And I keep bending again. So I'm just going to do a couple of plies there. So I'm bending the base leg, really allowing this thigh bone to drop. And good. And I'm really pressing against the chair. So if I had a pedal here, I would really press it. Wonderful. Very good. Two more. Bend the leg. Yes. And the last one. Cool. Perfect. And from there, I'm going to stay there. I'm just going to go a little bit farther. So I'm going to keep that leg there. But I'm just going to have the heel dropping down a little bit. So I'm like wrapping the edge of the chair. I guess depending on the chair you've got, you will probably have to adapt this. But it's just going to wrap around whichever edge you've got. And then we're going to have one hand up and the other one spiraling in. So I am creating a little spiral that happens with these two opposite directions. And I'm going to imagine I'm like a washing machine. I want to curl into myself to rotate all the way towards the leg. And then I'm going to come all the way up. And again, heavy shoulders, heavy chest. And I'm really rotating. Wonderful. Making sure the leg, that's my base leg, still working. And again, I'm inhaling to go, exhaling to come back. Two more. Inhaling to go. Good. Exhaling to come back. Last one. Make sure the leg that's on top is also engaged. Yes. And now we're going to go the opposite direction. So I'm still keeping these two nice and strong. And I'm going the opposite side. Wonderful. Letting the shoulders be nice and heavy. And go. Good. Come back. And again. Wonderful. Really allowing the washing machine feeling. So I'm really like ringing inside myself. Well done. Good. Last one. Okay. And from there, I'm going to go to the front. So I'm going to keep my foot there. And I'm just going to have my heel down there. My hands are there on my hips. And I'm going to start to reach the back of my left thigh to start to stretch on that. Good. So I'm trying not to go with my spine. I'm trying to really send my left sit bone back. So I'm really reaching it back as I lean forward. Very good. And I come back up again. Good. Nice. Let that chest be heavy and keep reaching the sit bones. Back, 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 back. Beautiful. And if you want, you can stay a little bit on that stretch. You can stay in there a little bit more, a little bit more. Good, 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 good. And coming up. Wonderful. We're just going to do the last one. So we're going to do with a, you can, if you need a wall, you can sort of put your hand on it. Otherwise, you can just relax. So you're going to let the knee bend a bit. Now I'm going to come a bit more forward so that this is bending my leg. And I'm going to try to curl my toes around. Okay, so this is kind of a complicated situation depending on the chair you've got. But I am hoping you'll be able to sort of manage. If that is complicated to do it in the center, you can also do it on the edge, wherever it's more comfy. And from there, I am pressing on the balls of the foot. Imagine I have a resistance in my heel, so I'm like sort of pressing against that resistance. And then I'm gonna reach my pubic bone forward to lean a little bit and come back again. So I am going back towards my hip, and then I'm gonna go forward, pressing on the foot, reaching my pubic bone up to my belly. And again. So I'm coming back, I'm staying in my foot. Yes, and I'm picking up my pubic bone all the way. Good, last one. Wonderful. Pressing on the foot, picking up the pubic bone, and from there we're going to hold just that quad and we're going to stretch it. Very good. So you can have both hands on it, just releasing it down to the floor. And again, imagining this pubic bone is picking up. Wonderful. And let's go to the other side. So let me mark it to you like that. So we were on the side. Yeah. So we're going to start with the foot on top. So again, balls of the foot are here, and I'm starting to find that nice sweet medium spot. Start by just letting the foot come up and down, and start to feel the pressure like the back of your right thigh wants to press down onto the floor. Good. Perfect. So I'm really using the balls of my feet to ground myself. Wonderful. And I'm going to stay in that nice medium. As you can see, my leg is shaking in that spot. It's not shaky there. It's not shaky there. It doesn't mean it needs to shake for you guys. Depends on the day. But it just means you need to feel the engagement in the back of the hip. And from there, we're going to bend the base leg and come all the way up again. And yes, very good. So we're bending the base leg. And as we stretch it, guys, I want you to imagine the whole sole of the foot being super active on the floor so that I'm not just going with my knee. You see that? So I'm really pressing on the whole sole, imagining the back of my thigh lifts up. Yes, like I'm picking up the back of my thighs in my base leg. And at the same time, I'm allowing this thigh to drop down to the floor. Great. Wonderful. And again. Yes, two more. Last one. Very good. And now we're going to go a little bit farther. So we jump a little bit and we're going to keep that foot in that little nice wrap around the chair. Now, my right hand is coming the opposite direction. Other hand is coming on top. And I'm going to go create that spiral. Remember, you want to give me some heel on the right. And I'm going to stretch in those two directions, really curling into myself, creating a washing machine movement. And again, heavy shoulders, heavy chest. Good. Let the movement bring you into yourselves. Wonderful. And up. Two more. Heavy chest. Yes. And up. Now two more. How many times do I actually say two more? That is the thing. If you haven't been to a Pilates class, you learn that any Pilates teacher, we just don't know how to count. We just lose a track. Once we learn how to be Pilates teachers, you can't know how to count. It is like that. It just works like that. Sorry. And this is the last one, and we're gonna go with the other arm. So we let the hip begin nice and heavy, and so it is quite tricky because we might have the temptation to do this. You can look at me for a second. I'm picking up my hip, and I want you to stay nice and grounded so that both sit bones are facing down. And I'm twisting again, inhaling, exhaling up. Good. Give me some hamstring on the right. So really pressing on that right leg down. Good. Making sure you're not blocking the knee. And we're just going to do 3 more on this side, I promise. Good. 2. And this is the last one. Allowing to curl into yourselves. Nice washing machine movement. Great. Okay, that is wonderful. Now we're going to and I'm going to send the right sit bones back to stretch the whole hamstring. And then I'm floating all the way up. So I'm going as straight with my back as I can. It doesn't happen from the chest. It happens from the pelvis and sit bones moving backwards. So you can on your thigh if you need to feel it. It's like I'm stretching the back of my tights in that direction. Very good. And in the last one, I'm just going to stay for a bit longer. Staying there, staying. Good. And come on, wonderful. Now, let's go for that beautiful attitude sort of movement. So, again, you have the balls of foot. You can either put it in the center or make it be a bit more on the edge, wherever you can feel you're a bit more settled. And there, I'm going to try to, so naturally, I'm going to be twisting a little bit, right? So, I want you to imagine both hip creases are facing forward. Great. And from there, I'm going to try to imagine my pubic bone is sticking up to the ceiling without gripping the belly. I'm just letting the bone pick up. And I'm going to go a little bit backwards, stretching that quad. And then I'm going to imagine I'm just sending my pubic bone, the bone, forward. Good. And again, trying to connect it with a little string. Good. I hope you're still listening to me because I heard like a weird sound. Yes, good. 2 more. Knees are connected with a string. Wonderful. Now reach your pubic bone forward a little bit more. Good. Last one. Let the pubic bone be the one that reaches first. Good. Great. And just relax those legs for a second because that was quite hard work. And we're just going to let the chair be there on the side. We can just forget about the chair for a second. And we're just going to do a bit more of an abdominal series. I still want you guys to, because I am assuming most of you is the first class or kind of one of the first classes you are doing. So it's very important that we start very important because otherwise we just pull on the neck and it's very dramatic. So we're going to have the feet parallel and my hands are going to be on the floor. I'm pressing with the tip of my fingers on the mat. Now you can calculate the distance wherever you want. It doesn't have to be too forward. Just try to measure it in a way that you're going to start to curl back. So when you curl back, you can still press on your hands. That's the most important thing. So I'm going to, from there, have my feet parallel, and I'm going to start to send my pubic bone towards my nose. So I literally feel the bone doing that as if I'm sucking the seam of my trousers into my belly, but I keep pressing on the fingers like crazy. So I've got strong shoulders, I'm not squeezing in the blades, and now I keep pressing on my fingers to come all the way up. So the most important thing here is that the hands are not lost. So if I go too far, you feel how my hands are not really pressing. I want you to make a gap on the floor the stronger you press. So you're pressing. Keep pressing, pubic bone towards your nose. Now don't go far if you're loosening the pressure. Keep pressing. Wonderful. If you have the pressure still, what you're going to do is you're going to make the belly very heavy, the chest very heavy. Look up, put one knee to your chest as if it's floating. Float the kneecap up. And then you're inhaling, floating the other kneecap up. Allow the belly to be heavy. Keep your hands nice and pressing against a little bit more. And then we're going to bring one leg down and another one down. Good. And again. So this is quite complicated. So really keeping the hands. That is the most important thing for now. And again, pressing on the hands, pubic bone towards your nose. Good. Now give me strong shoulders and keeping the pubic bone towards your nose, opening the hip crease. Just float one knee cup to your chest as you keep absorbing the seam of your trousers towards your belly. Now give me more hands to pick up the other leg. Very good. Now give me heavy belly to bring the left leg down and heavy belly to lift. Sorry, drop the other one down. And from there, I'm going to have my hands in my back here. So tip of my fingers facing forward. Great. And from there, I'm just going to start to send my pubic bone towards my nose, and I'm going to create space there. And I am strong on my palms, supporting the weight of my body on my palms. Then, as I come up, I'm going to keep pressing on my palms and let my chest melt down as I let the curl drop, and bring me up. And again, pubic bone towards your nose. Very good. Heavy belly. Keep pressing on the palms. You don't need to have your head too low, and you're letting the chest melt so that your spine can bend to come all the way up. Last one. Pubic bone towards your nose. Very good, very good, very good, very good. Heavy belly. And now you're going to slide your arms a little bit more away from you, and you're going to keep them pressing. So I'm not fully dropped. I am a little bit up, and I'm melting my heart down. My head is not dropping or doing anything weird. I'm just melting my heart, and I'm picking up one knee to your chest, to my chest, and I'm inhaling. And as I exhale, I press on the palms to melt my chest even more as I pick up the other leg. Well done. Now from there, I'm going to send both knees to one side, inhaling. As I exhale, I make those 4 elephants, drop in my belly to come back to center. And again, inhale, super tiny to the side, don't go too far. And now heavy belly to come back to center. Now my hands need to support me so that the space in between my shoulders is nice and soft. I'm like a hammock, and I really need the space in between my shoulders super soft. Heavy belly. Last one. Okay, and rest your head down. Really good work. Nice. And we're just going to have feet just parallel. And we're going to open the knees. It's just a bit of a relaxation, but also opening of the hips. So my palms are going to be up to the ceiling, quite wide, nice and comfy. And my feet are hip width apart on the floor. And now I'm just going to go inhaling. All I'm doing is I'm opening my knees and letting my chest open up to the ceiling. So now don't worry about technique or anything. You're just going to let everything drop and lift up to the ceiling. I don't care about what the ribs do. And now I'm going to press on the feet to come back to center. Great. So I let the heaviness of my feet bring me back to that dropped position. And again, inhaling. And here, guys, just focusing on the breath and on the contact of your feet with the mat. That's all I want you to focus on. And again, so you're inhaling and you're letting, without forcing it, you're just letting the hips open and the chest open. And then you're pressing on the feet to come back to center. And again, inhale, let it just relax. That's it. So it's like a real opening when you're inhaling. So you're inhaling. You're also noticing if there's one groin that wants to go farther than the other one. Is there any tension in one of them? Can I feel a resistance of it not wanting to fully open? If that's the case, just let that resistance be there. See if you can just talk to your body and ask, be curious if there's any possibility of trying to explore a bit of a wider range by relaxing it instead of forcing it into the position. And two more. Very good. Heavy chest and belly. Last one. Okay, that's wonderful. Great. And from there, we're just gonna do a little bit of a hamstring stretch, mixture of something. So this is just gonna be the beginning of it, okay? But I'm gonna let one leg be nice and long towards the mat, and my two other hands are gonna go one on top of the other one, so they're not interlaced. They're just one on top of the other one. Now I want you to imagine someone is pressing on your knee so that your thigh bone is getting heavy towards the mat. So if you do it with your hands, put both hands on top of your knee and drop it down a little bit, try to press it down. You feel how that settles it down. So that's what I want you to feel when you do it. So one hand is still there in the back, and from there, allowing that weight to drop your thigh bone down, you're going to start to imagine your calf is super light. So we've got here very light calf, very heavy thigh bone. And as I let the calf float up like it's on top of an helium balloon, I'm gonna let the thigh bone drop even heavier towards the mat. Great, 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 and drop. Now I don't care how far you go. The most important thing, look at me for a second, is that this doesn't happen. So if I'm pushing with my knee, this is not really going to help you to strengthen all that back that we want. So you want to think it's probably going to happen that at some point you'll feel like this squat, this big bully wants to overwork. And what you're going to imagine is you're going to imagine you're dropping all these muscles, melting them down to your hip socket so that they can just chill. Good. And let all the muscles work. Great. And bend again. And we're going to do two more. So all the focus, guys, is just in the heaviness of my thigh bone and in not pushing my hands away. If I'm pushing my hands, that means I am not making my thigh bone so heavy. So let it drop and float the foot. Now we're gonna stay up there and we're gonna flex and point and flex. And as we point, we try to keep the calf long. And again, and flex and point. Now we're gonna do two circles one way and two circles the other way. Great. And from there, we're going to pull the elbows apart, make the chest very heavy, and we're going to start to climb up the tree a little bit, just until here, and then go all the way down. Imagining my bottom leg is really getting heavier towards the mat and pressing a bit. Heavy chest. Very good. That's enough. And all the way down. Use your hands. Last one. Very good. And you climb all the way down. Wonderful. And let's change the leg. Yes, as a first day, we do like a sort of tree. This is what's called tree. So very nice, very nice. Just the beginning of it. So now we're going to have one leg, one hand on one hand. And then again, my right quad is trying to get heavy against the mat. That's it. Very, very heavy. I've got a big, big elephant on top of my right quad, and my hands are one on top of the other one. Remember, not interlaced, just one on top of the other. And I'm gonna give myself that weight in the left thigh. Put your hand on your knee just to have the feeling. Great. And from there, keeping that feeling, allowing the belly to melt, we're gonna start to float very light, that left calf. And when we just feel like it's getting creepy, we just let it drop. So we can just let it drop. You don't have to slowly bring it down. And again, heavy thigh bone. Imagine the vertical line of that thigh bone dropping down to the mat. Heavy bum on the mat. Good, 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 good. And down. And you don't have to go very, very far up. It doesn't matter. That doesn't matter. It's just about how heavy can your thigh bone get. Now, if the foot is trying to do a lot, it might happen that the foot is trying to do this, right? Or like activate in some way. So see if you can talk to your foot and be like, foot, you can chill. Because that'll be just a compensation. So try to chill your foot, relax your foot, and keep floating the calf. Very good. Keep floating and allowing the thigh bone to drop. And then we're going to stay there and flex and point and flex and point and one more. Great. Last one. Now let's do 2 circles in one direction, 2 circles in the opposite direction. And now let's go for the tree. So we pull the elbows apart, melt our hearts, make the right hamstring very heavy, and start to drop the heart to try to go up a little bit, just a little bit, and all the way down. And again, heavy chest, heavy chest, heavy chest, and coming down and down and it down. Last one. Heavy, heavy, heavy. Use your hands. Okay, bring the legs in. Let's go to a nice child's pose. We're just gonna have feet together, knees open, and stretch the spine. Now, so imagining your hands, the pressure of your hands, you can even bring them closer if you want. How those shoulders nice and wide and your hands pressing can give you some curl in your lower back that you can breathe onto. So you're really breathing in that space in your back, trying to keep the front soft as you can. Good, and we're gonna start to walk our hands towards the right, just to stretch the left side a bit more. And then we're gonna walk our hands towards the left again to allow that to stretch nice and long. Very good. Nice, beautiful work there, guys. Yes. And then we're gonna come back to center. And walking, walking, walking with the fingers. Going vertebra by vertebra. All the way up to sitting. Wonderful. That was really great. Thank you so much for being here. I hope you enjoyed this. If you did, give me a thumbs up and see if you can subscribe and recommend it to anyone you like. This class is just for you guys and for us to build a community where we can move together. So it'd be I hope you loved it and I hope you come back and I hope to see you again soon. Now we've got a stretching session starting right now. Um, and it's just going to be until 10 past 8 Spanish time, 10 past 7 English time. So I hope to see you there. We're just going to be doing a little bit more stretching and relaxation now. Thank you again for coming and hope to see you again soon. Mwah. Have a good night.